We're going to Mitzvah Shem tonight, make a Siyum on Hilchos Beider, and we'll start learning Hilchos Purim.
Purim?
Should be Chag already.
Siyum Mishchak, first or second?
Sif Chof, page Tov Kuf Mem Zayin. Tov Kuf Mem Zayin. Right here, yeah. Sif Chof Aleph. Ein Mesanen is a Chardel was not allowed to strain, to sift mustard. Mehasubin Shalei from the sediment of it. Half a piece shagam him ruim lachila, even though these pieces are also right to eat. They ain't subin psailas kal, and not considered psailas. The aim of mishabayim anatayra, it's not an issue of bayim anatayra. After became awesome with the it's awesome with rabbanon. V'shenira kebayra, for it seems like bayra. Oyicham atecha psailas. Hoyel mesanim kedilech al, since the way you eat it is you sift it to remove the subin, even the subin are edible. Kedelech alachal, to eat the muscle hashlach as a subin, so therefore it seems like an act of bayr. It's also only midrabanan. Avol imnasan achardu masanen is me'er Shabbos. What happens if you already put the mustard seeds in the mesanenes, in the sifter on erev Shabbos? So the seeds, the good parts went through the holes, and the parts that you don't want to eat are on the top. They have not gone through the sifter. Mutter litin ba beya. You're allowed to put an egg in the sift through the sifter. The sakin mara hachardal mistanim betoicha, to give color, to give a nicer color to the mustard seeds that are there.
The egg you have to break. You have to break the eggs.
Yeah, okay. You can crack the egg.
Right.
It's a raw egg.
Right.
It's a raw egg. You crack the raw egg.
A raw egg.
Yeah, raw egg.
Mm-hmm. It's good for the chazan to drink it.
Now, why are you allowed to put the egg through? Lamaisa, an egg has two parts to it. It has the yellow and the white, right? I don't know what the formal names are, but in halacha it's called, in Gemara it's called chelmein. It's the yellow part, and chelbein is the white part. So when a person puts an egg through, the yolk itself, the yellow part goes through, falls through. However, the white part, which is all like gluey, like it's sticky, stays on top. So sort of like it's bayr. Half a pisha hachelmein yoyred lamata. The chelmein, the yellow part of the yolk, goes through the sifter. Im achardol, onto the mustard seeds. V'achelbein, and the chelbein, the white part, shu kosher, which is connected to each other. Nisher l'mayla pseilos, stays on the top with the pseilos, with the part which you don't want to eat. It does not seem like an act of oichel m'teicha pseilos. Why not? Chelmein and chelbein are both foods. You eat both of them. And none of them are considered pseilos.
But right now they're not cooked, so they're solid.
Huh?
You cannot eat them right now. They are not cooked. It's like a solid.
You can eat rice.
You can eat egg like this?
Well, if it's
Some people eat it.
Why the chazan?
Mayonnaise is right. You can eat mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise is right.
Yeah, but it's why that's mix it up, they add it up.
Yeah, okay, in our society, people don't really eat so much raw eggs for itself, but there are societies that ate the pasta, maybe today.
He's eating with the mustard.
Right? He's eating with the mustard, yes, with a mixture. It's just there to give a look. To give it a look. Because why is there no shabayr over here? They're both foods, they're both edible. And you're not doing this in order because you want to eat the yellow part and not the white part. Nothing to do with eating over here. You're doing it only for coloring. Only because the chelmein, the yellow part, helps helps to fix up the color of the mustard seed. And not the white part. So that's why you're splitting it.
Are you allowed to color on Shabbos?
That's a good question. So that I think there is a discussion about it. Definitely a lot of places can hold that ain't severe ba'ichlin.
You're just in Sakamara. It just looks more nice. It's more creamy.
It's not actual painted. It doesn't stick to it.
Changing the color. The yellow is yellow. Just
Right? What's the point? Lamaisa, we're makel with. Well, I mean, it depends. If you're doing it dafke, it could be an issue. Like Lamash, if you want to make a red wine, a wine red, so there's a certain way how you're supposed to do it. But Lamaisa over here, it's not. It's a good point. It's not mamish painting it. Now, you see, what he's bringing up over here is like this. By the actual mustard seeds themselves, even though the other part that comes with it, which is people don't generally eat, it's edible, but doesn't want to eat it. We said it's also midrabanan. Minat Torah, it's edible, and it's all, and not only edible, but it's all part of one min. It's all one item. Just these are the part of it you don't want to eat. It was attached. You're sifting it. So over here, it seems like it's boyer because the half that, even though it's not minat Torah boyer, but it looks like it's boyer because part of it, it's not just I don't want to eat it. I'm throwing it away. It seems like boyer. Over here, by the chalmen and chalben, l'chor, the same thing. You're also going to throw away the white part of the top. You're not planning on eating. You just need the yellow part, the yolk that went down.
you don't need it.
Yeah, you have no need for it. So l'maisa.
Some people eat it.
Not when it's mixed into some type of.
So over here in this case, it's similar also to bayr. Still, it's not asim d'Rabbanan because you're not doing it for food purposes. You're only doing it for color. It doesn't seem like bayr. That's what Alter Rebbe explains. Ella, the only reason you're doing it, the yellow part helps to fix up the color of the mustard seeds. Not the white part. Even though you're going to throw out the white part, which is now mixed on the top of the sifter with the pieces of the mustard seeds that you didn't want to eat. And you're eating the yellow part with the mustard. Since you're doing this not for the purposes of eating, just to fix up its looks, it doesn't seem like biter. The two parts of the egg are all one food. Now, in one min, there's no biter. We learned in the beginning of the simon, in apples or in chalas, all the same. Only by 2 minim. So these are really the egg and the egg white and the egg yellow are one food. So there's no api halacha. There's no issue. Maybe midrabanan it should seem like biter, like we see this case earlier, the chard on its subin, which also is 1 min, the charbal on its subin. Still in all, we say it's not. And we say that it's a problem, even though it's edible. By the way, banana peels are psoilus, even though they're one thing, because it's actual psoilus. People don't eat it. But if they're part of food that it's really part of it, it's food, it's edible, just you don't want to eat it, it's not a pi halacha, there's no biter. But in the case you're throwing it out entirely, you're not eating it at all, and you're putting it through a sifter, so then it's a problem.
Potatoes. Potatoes.
Potato?
Yeah. You get baked potato. People, a lot of people don't eat potato.
The problem is potato. Do people eat potato peels?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No, I mean for health reasons, a lot of people peel them off. They have chicken skin. For health reasons, for calorie reasons. Okay.
Some
They're
potatoes
both
are edible.
Right, some potato skins people eat, but it's, I guess, right, a lot of times people make boiled roasted potatoes. Well, that would, I guess, depend on what's the majority of what we go by roiv. The halacha is, when we want to know whether it's psoilus or not, we go by what roiv people do. If roiv people would eat it in that method, the way it's being made, then it's considered one min. If roiv people don't, then it's considered psoilus. So you have to go with majority of people. And it could be, it depends on how the potato is made, like what the majority of people will do in that situation.
But peeling a banana is not shiling like a bar.
No.
And peeling a potato would be the same.
But once the peel is off the banana,
it becomes muksa.
it will become an issue of separating it. It's a burger. Like
And once it's I see.
when it's on, you have no other way to get to the food. When it's off, then you have an issue of burger when it's mixed together, like the shells of the.
Ah.
I think bananas bring flies, they bring fruit flies from people very much about bananas. It's a graph charade.
Well, while the nuts and the peels are mixed with the food, they don't, even though they're not attached, they're not yet muksa. It's only when they totally separate, they're out of the pile, then they get a status of muksa. But there would also be ways of moving it by saying it's a graf shari, it's something which, it's disgusting, you don't want it on the table, so you'll be able to move it off. Just that anything which is edible and it's part of the food, it's 1 min. If it's edible, it's not part of the food, it's 2 minim. You have bayr. We have bayr concept even by something which is not psoilus. Apples and oranges, you can have bayr. You move away what you don't want from what you want is bayr. That's considered quote unquote psoilus. Min ha'torah. But when something is part of the food, then only when it's actual psoilus does it have a status of a problem of bayr. And if it's not actual psoilus, then it's 1 min. It's all just 2 parts of the same food, like the egg. You want this part, you don't want the other part, but it's all 1 min. There's no problem about it.
How you take the banana if you don't peel it? You have to peel it with the...
Yeah, it's mutter. You're allowed to do that because
No,
there's
it's
no.
saying that after you take the banana, whatever left over for the peel, it's a mukta. It's a bar.
Yeah, once there's a mixture.
So what do you do with this? We're not eating it, you take it, put it in the garbage.
Yes,
So-
it's not a problem. There's no bayer.
There's no bar here.
No. Only when the food is still mixed in with the eichel. Let's say you have nuts, and the nuts are mixed with the shells. It's all mixed in a pile. And you take away the nuts, the shells from the nuts, it's
That's a
bayer.
bar. Ooh, yeah.
Sifchot Beis. Now he clarifies even more in Sifchot Beis about the English of the Bechlal. When it's in 1 min, in general we say when it's 1 min, 1 species, there's no bayr at all. Right? That's what we learned in the beginning. And even if you would take some parts of it and throw it away, you're not interested in it at all, you throw it on the floor, you're not interested to put it in the garbage, it's still not bayr because it's all 1 min. It's all 1 min. It's only in the case of this, in a situation where you don't eat it the way it is, you have to change it, its form, and people generally throw it out, then it could have a status of seeming like it's bayr. But in general, when it comes to 1 min, we don't say any bayr shilas. Even in a case where the sin of sifting was for eating purposes, It would only be us in this case. So lakan over here, shachel being the white part of the egg. Ash Hashem oichel, even though it's considered food. Mikol makim in iroi la'achle kach kameshu. People don't eat it the way it is. Generally, as eating, they generally, here it says a mixture. It seems over here also they weren't eating the raw egg. V'gam as well, rogim la'shvichim apsailis. In general, this was thrown out with the psailis. Maybe they didn't generally eat the white part. L'chein hu nira kepsailis. Therefore, it seems like it's psailis. It's the bad parts. The kalabi hachelmen hanechol kameshu machardel. In comparison to the yellow part, which is eaten the way it is without being cooked with the mustard seeds. So therefore, in comparison to that, it seems like it's better. But also midivrei sofer, also midrabban. However, being an acher in any other manner, ein iser klal afilu midivrei sofer. Even midrabban, there's no iser bebreidas min oichel echad. With the beta of one min. Anything which is one min. Dahaina afilu beta chatiches katanes metoi chatiches gdoilosas. Even if one takes small pieces from amongst bigger pieces.
The same kind.
Yeah, same type of fish. Even though he throws the small ones down, he's not interested in the small pieces. He only wants the big pieces on his table. It doesn't make it seem like psailos. They're right to eat the way they are. And people generally eat it. Just this person decided he doesn't want to eat it. So it's only in these specific scenarios where it's not right to eat the way it is. Even when it's one min, there can be an issue of bayra midrabanan when it's not right to eat it the way it is. And in general, most people throw it out. Then it seems like it's psailos. It's not really psailos, but it seems like psailos, and therefore we stay away from it. But in general, it's not a shayla, because it's all one min.
What would be an example? Something would be also. What we discussed before, like the nuts on a pile?
No, because that's not a good example. Because it's not edible.
Right.
That's min hatoyra.
Right. So
It's a bit of an hatoyra problem. You need something which, like in this situation where the white part people throw out when they do this because they're only doing this for the seed color, and the other part really be'etzim is edible. Just in the way this scenario, they don't eat it, and it's not eaten this way. It's the egg. So in this case, it seems like better. Other examples?
it needs to have two conditions to be mutter.
Yeah, I would maybe say the other way. Two conditions for it to be aser, because most cases are basically mutter. Anytime in general, when it's one min, it's mutter. In two situations, it will be aser even when it's one min. When there's a part of that one min that you separated, and it's generally people throw it out, people don't eat it, and it's not right to eat the way it is unless it's mixed with something else or cooked, a change made to it. So when you have those two issues, then it's also midrabanan.
If you have three kinds of fish, one with garlic, one with hot sauce, and one with barbecue sauce, the same salmon, but just different flavoring. It's a different fish or the same fish? And you can see different. This is barbecue sauce, this is garlic is white, and this is hot sauce.
L'chora is 3 minutes. It's 3 different minutes.
It's very different. Even though it's the same salmon, just this.
Right. L'chora, the sauce gives it a different taste. It's different. L'chora, yeah. It's out the sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Sivchav Gimel. Mayim sheyesh beihem teiloyim. Water which has in it bugs and worms, and you're not allowed to eat it. It's aser, and you don't want to eat it. Aser l'sananon afilu b'soder. impossible.
Even if it's sunny, it's solid. How you can drink this water when the lion was there? I don't know how even the Shulchan Aruch, to speak about it. You understand what I'm saying? This is water with tolaim. How you even send that? You know, it's mouse. Nobody drink this water. You will drink this water?
Listen, those days, there was no. You have to understand, there was no filtering system, right?
Wells.
There was wells and there was rivers, and this was the Metzias. You had to go to the well, and there was always bugs in a well,
Hooked up the
and
water.
they had to get rid of it. So they had ways how they did it.
Thank God.
They would pour it on a kerchief or something, and they would have ways of cleaning it, you know, or they would put it on the cup on top. They put it on the cup and drink through a handkerchief. We'll see. Also, the Sananon, Afila Basudar, one is not allowed to sift them, strain them, even with a handkerchief. Shari Efsher Klal Shtoisim B'Leisinin, because it's impossible to drink it without filtering it. Shema Yivla Echem, maybe you will swallow one of them. So therefore, it's impossible for you to do it. And anything which is impossible to drink it, otherwise it's better. Meaning, like we said earlier on in the Siman, if something is considered right to eat by most people, even if you personally want to eat, let's say the wine is clean, it's removed from most of the sediments, the shmarim. Just you don't like this foam that you don't see it in the wines today so much, but the white foam on the top, you don't want that either. That when it ferments, it has this white. So, since majority of those people those days drank the wine, you personally want to filter it. It doesn't get the status of psoilus. It's all considered one min. It's all one min. So like we said earlier, like we learned earlier, it has to be the majority of people throw it out. Majority of people don't mind drinking it, so then you can't make it psoilus. It's 1 min. 2 minim, you can make something psoilus. It's subjective to you. Whether you want to have the orange, you want to have the apple now, it's subjective when it's 2 min. When it's 1 min, it's all 1 min. The only thing that can make something psoilus if there's a part of the 1 min that most people don't eat, then objectively it gets a status of psoilus. That this constitutes what everyone does not eat. People don't eat this. You happen to be different. So anyways, therefore, someone would sift that wine even more to get out that foam. It wouldn't be better because the majority of people drink it anyways. So in this case, since it's usher to eat it without, and it's impossible to drink it without doing the sifting, so there's nothing to discuss about it. It's also to eat it, and therefore it's a isser.
Well, use filters on Shabbos. What is it?
Let's finish the simon. We'll sift it. We'll discuss it. Good question. Abel motel l'shtois and a mappa. One is allowed to drink it through a
close.
Yeah. Meaning, if you're allowed to drink it with the cup, or the barrel, by putting a something on top of it and drinking it that way. So I'm not sifting it before I drink it. I'm sifting it as I'm drinking it. She'ain iser boider or meshamer. There's no iser boider or meshamer. Ela b'mesaken ein koydem achila. Oishia she'yiroi lachil shia. She's older malacha. When I do it and I fix it up before I eat and drink it, and that's the way you do a malacha. Aval in beshash sia, while you're drinking a ma'akav psoilus, you hold back the psoilus. Shalichas they priv should not enter your mouth. Ein zemei malacha klal. It's not at all similar to malacha. It's considered drinking. This is how I drink. Or mutter, it's mutter. The ain lat now. Another issue here he brings up on his own is just an inyan of you're not allowed to make a cloth wet on Shabbos because of laundering. You're not allowed to wash your clothing on Shabbos, and making a clothing wet is part of the process of washing it. So you're not allowed to soak something. If there's a spill and you take a dry towel and you wipe it, okay. But if you just soak a towel in water, that's one of the ways how you prepare to wash it. The first thing you soak in water. You put it in a bucket and you soak it to clean it, right? Or you put it in a washing machine and it sits in there and it gets soaked and it starts to clean it. So over here, there's no problem with the fact that you're making the clothing wet, this piece of cloth wet on top of the barrel or top of your cup. Which We shouldn't answer this because soaking the beged is considered a form of washing. He says, well, we're not going to answer it because of a gzeira. Maybe you will squeeze it. Even shadavra mortu, since it's a small beged. Ha'nisha benayim, a small amount of clothing, just soaked in water. Kedela hanochas piv, just in order to put your mouth on it. Or wadavar muadei lachash, a small little amount. We're not choishish that you will be soichet, and we're not choishish for the gzeira that it seems like you're washing your clothing, because just a little piece. La'oisim sham. However, according to what's explained in Siman Shem Beis, la'oisim sham, according to the opinion which is brought there that forbids it, afilu b'davar muat, even in a small amount of beged, is a problem to soak it. Mishum shiriyas beged zeu kibusay, soaking a cloth is it's a form of washing it. Afkan also is asur. Kavar and Zbar Hashem, you already explained in that Siman Shem Beis, it talks about washing clothing, in Yom Shabbos of cleaning clothing. Shekol Bal Nefesh, someone who's holding on the madrega, the level of being a Bal Nefesh, a Mahadar Mitzvahs, Yachmel Atzmei should be strict for himself personally, in Makim She'efsher, in a place where it's possible. He has all the water to drink, whatever it is, he should refrain from doing this manner of drinking. But Me'ikar Hadin, it's mutter. Bal Nefesh is for someone who's holding by a higher level. So, the Maisa Menegea filters. If someone is not filtering because he feels that it's usser, the issue of the bugs in New York water is a problem. He's Rav holds it's mutter. He likes the filter just because he feels extra clean. Not a problem. To have a filter in your sink. Because most people drink it without the filter. It's not better.
What if you're next door where everybody drinks only filter? So water's too hard.
If most people only drink with a filter, then it's a problem.
But what if you're drinking right away? You're putting the...
Oh. So the question over here is, how do we compare this case to our sinks? Because this case, it was the cup going straight to your mouth. Over here, you're pouring it through the sifter. Are there places like that? Or?
It's all people don't drink.
No one drinks
tap water. People drink tap water without filter.
They try now. Even here, we try not to drink tap water.
Right, so what do you do? What do they do?
I buy gallon water.
Right, so they buy or they're filtering?
Yeah, we drink from the sink. They have no money to buy extra. Maybe now, I don't know. In my time, they have...
People have filters?
Not everybody in the stomach, but...
Hey, my
the
wife...
filters helps for the
Especially
hard...
if you're American, you can't drink the hard water. If you're Israeli, you're probably used to it.
But the filters make it shouldn't be hard anymore?
It takes out all those sediments.
I hear what you're saying. It's a different type of water, yeah. It's a lot of minerals and things.
I buy 4 cases gallon water. We use only this gallon.
Here I drink the tap water, I'm fine. Stomach aches.
Here you drink?
Yeah, the truth is it's also third world countries, I can't drink the drinking water unless you boil it first. When I was younger as a bacher, we were in Russia, we were running camps. We never ate any of the food that was prepared for the camp. We would starve a whole day, and at night, after all the campers were asleep, all the counselors would make a meal because we wouldn't touch any of the food. We Americans wouldn't be able to. The Russians were used to it. The stomachs were used to this. They know the whole concept of refrigeration by them was like, we found chicken sitting on a pate for like 2 days. Like, that was normal, sitting out 2 days. And maybe their stomachs can handle it, It's just, we got very sick from, and while they were there a whole day, we couldn't go to the kitchen because they had making the camp stuff. They wouldn't let us in the kitchen, the camp staff, so we had to mamish wait till night. And at night we would pull out some from our suitcases, some pasta and other stuff. And make a little food and some tuna and crackers.
In New York, there's a natural filtration because it comes from the mountains. So by the time it hits the city, all the sediments are already settled to the bottom. So
And it's not filtered, right? They don't filter. And they say New York's water is the best water.
this is the furthest travel distance.
There's nothing added to the water. They add some chemicals, probably, no?
They do.
Ask the farmers, he will know.
I should know.
I know how to drink water.
We use distilled water.
The filter, the water that they make medicine?
They filter water.
Medicine is liquid, it's water.
It's a communist conspiracy. They put chloride. They put
Fluoride.
in
Fluoride.
fluoridation.
They do. Yeah, they do.
With New York water.
Yeah, fluoride.
What does the fluoride do?
Strengthen the teeth.
That's what they put it in. They want to strengthen our teeth.
It's a cheap mineral, so they add it on it.
We need your expertise.
It's communist conspiracy.
So I'll tell you something. The Americans doing it in Yerushalayim, since Eretz Yisrael, the people drink it without the filter, you wouldn't have again the problem. It would be an issue. So majority people, right. So consider the problem will be in places where majority of the people, where it's pasha undrinkable, it's polluted, when they boil it always first. Then you would have to have the shayla in that one. That's a bit, I don't really see the clear hatter. I think you would have to do it before Shabbos because
Put into bottles.
have bottles for Shabbos or something. I know someone who's machmer on the New York water, so he doesn't want to drink the New York water. He's also machmer with the shayla bayrer. He doesn't want to use the filter on Shabbos. So before Shabbos, fills up some pitchers and drinking water, Okay, Sivchav Dal.
Wash his hands.
No, washing hands and dishes is not a big deal. It's only an issue of drinking water. So how much drinking water does he need for Shabbos? He fills up 2 pitchers, 3 pitchers, and that's it. Not a big deal. Sivchav Dalet. Im naflu zvuvim lekois. If flies fell into your cup. Lo yoisi hazvuvim levadon. One should not remove the bugs, the flies by themselves from the cup.
Take some wine.
Sharei kibayre pseres v'decha eichel sha'aser. Afilu kidei lechel miyad. Even if you're going to eat it immediately, it's a problem of doing bayre pseres v'decha eichel. Eliyika gam and amashke ksas iman. Take a little bit of the liquid with it. Sha'oz einenira kibayre klal. Then it does not seem like bayre at all. Now the Alter Rebbe in his Siddur changed his mind about this, and he held that you're not allowed to do this. This heter is a heter brought from the Taz, Shulchan Aruch, and he held that if you have a little bit of liquid with it, it doesn't seem like you're doing bayra. And I think we should learn the Siddur, the part where the Alter Rebbe was retracted from this heter. Most of the Welt does rely on this heter. Because the Mishabura also paskins that you can rely on it. Let's take a look at what you say, page Tov Kuf Beis. Tov Kuf Beis. Yeah, a little later. So, Hilchos Raps al Shabbata. In Ksasas Haris, the Alter Rebbe says over here, I have a number of things to be cautioned about. Ha'aris and comments, Lahori, Michshoilis, to remove Michshol, Hashkogis, Hashchichis, Matsuyis, common mistakes on Shabbos. Lafi das Harbi Megdele Rishonim, according to the opinion of many of the Gedele Rishonim, the great Rishonim, Yesh ben Isser Karis Skila, if you do it b'mezid, and a Chi of Chatas, if you do it b'shoigig, Hashem Yichaper, Hashem should forgive us. What are they? Shalilismeich al heter hanog. One should not rely on the common heter. Bim nafal zvuv. If a zvuv, a fly, fell, a sharp says the other pseilas, the kois, into a cup, or the kaira, or into a kaira, the hitzia yedei hekaf, to remove it with a spoon, v'lishiv ktsas mashkin, right? And to remove some of the liquid with it. Ki yesh bazeh shash chiyuv chatas. Because there is a concern of a chiyuv chatas in this issue. Isra skil chas v'shalom. So here the Alter Rebbe clearly writes against what he himself wrote in Shulchan Aruch that we just read, which is based on the Taz that you do have such a heter. Take a spoon and take a little bit of the soup or the wine, the water together with it. Here he says not to rely on it. So what should you do? So first, ve'ein takana, your only eitzah is rak lishpeich mahakois, to pour out from the cup ad sheyetze hapsoilas lech, until the piece falls out. Keep on pouring with your cup until it falls out.
Might close half a cup, but keep going.
Well, he'll give you the eitzah soon how to do it better. V'loi yinapich olav beruach pivat sheyetze. One should not blow with his mouth until it leaves. So you're also doing a form of biter with your mouth. You're blowing it out till you blew it out. Avol muter l'napeach olav la'akriva the deifin hakes. You're allowed to blow it to bring the piece that you want to remove, the pseilis, to the edge of the becher, the edge of the cup. V'oz, and then yateu, he should turn it, v'yishpeich mimenu, and pour it out, ad sheyipal hapseilis v'teicha, till the pseilis will go out. So he won't lose as much. He does it this way.
Because it's already in the corner.
Right. Now, why is this mutter to do? The question is, when you're pouring the cup,
You're boiler.
you're boiler now, asam boiler with pouring. Why is that anapim? So you're going to tell me I'm pouring a little mashke out. Pouring a little mashke with it is the heter of the taz that the Alter Rebbe just said not to rely on. So what's the heter based on? The Alter Rebbe explains now the heter is based on because he changed his mind regarding another detail in his siddur. Shulchan Aruch. And the Alter Rebbe in Shulchan Aruch held that in a chanami, when you pour something out, that's considered what you took out. So you took out the fly,
But
you took out a particle, that's what you took out. You took out the pseilis. And the siddur he held that whatever remains in your hand is what you're taking. And what remains in your hand is the goods, is the wine, is the water, is the soup, which is what you want. And that's the oichel. That's what he says over here. Shekiv and shenefilas hapseilas l'chut, since the removal of the pseilas to the outside. Is through you're holding in your hands the cup with the liquid inside. Mateyu biyad, and you turn it, move it with your hand. How is it nikra bayir oichel metech pseilas? It's considered as you took the oichel from the pseilas. Or motor is motor kadei l'shemiyam, when you do it for immediate use, because any bayir, even when you take the oichel, is only motor for immediate use. As well, if it fell into a plate which has a sauce and you want to remove it, same thing. Even when you have like fats that are floating on the top of sauce and you want to take a spoon and remove it, you should not remove it from with a spoon, even with some of the sauce, which would be the heter of the Taz and the heter of the Shulchan Aruch. It's as if you're taking the pseilos out and you're chayiv. Now, why does he write that? Why is that it's afilu? Even in the case where it's this, it's also awesome. The reason is because when it's floating on the top, it's more distinct and it has its own area. So sort of like they're each distinct. It's floating on the top, so it's not mixed as much. So you would think
it's on top of the oil, and oil doesn't mix.
it's on top of the
He says
The
why
sauce, the roitiv.
No, why he says oil over there? Filu shuman atzaf.
Shuman is not oil. Shuman is
Fat.
It's fat.
Fat.
So now it's like you have fat and food.
right.
You could imagine.
So in a way, it's a little bit separate. You have the fat on top of the
Food.
the sauce, the roitiv. You have like a sauce. Let's say you have a meat. You have a roast, and the roast has a lot of sauce.
Right. And
On the top of the sauce, there's fatty parts that you want to remove. So, Alter Rebbe said afilu, even in such a case, because you might think that it's distinct. Each has its own area. So there's a sauce here, and on the top is a shuman, so I can remove it, so it's not bayr. So Alter Rebbe, no, that's still an issue of bayr. Even in such a case, you shouldn't use it with a
spoon.
spoon.
Some people eat the shuman, top of the.
And the emes is he doesn't say, he adds in the words, he doesn't say that it is actual bayr. He said how raise a kib bayr, if you look. He adds the chaf. It says like your bayr. So
So what should you do?
Move it to the side and then pour it.
in the case of this is a little more difficult, but in the case where you have something in your becher, let's say you have a little piece of a cork that fell into the becher, which can sometimes happen, right? In the wine bottle, it fell a piece of the cork and it went inside. And the maisa, you need to get it out of your becher. So you blow it to the edge, and when it's at the edge, you
Blowing is
move it.
blowing is better.
But you're not allowed to blow it out of the becher. You're allowed to blow it to the edge of the becher. When it's at the edge, you tilt the becher with your hands to remove the.
So you can't take it out, but
With a spoon.
according to Alter Rebbe,
According to the Alter Rebbe and the Siddur, in the Shulchan Aruch he held you could like the Taz and the Velt. I believe that a lot of the Velt is Mekel because the Mishabruda Paskin like the Taz and also Alter Rebbe and the Shulchan Aruch. I'm not sure if the Mishabruda Bechlal saw the Siddur, but I'm just saying that's the Poil of Psak. Unganim and most Sifrei Boyer Paskin that way. But amongst Hasidim, try to be machmer to the Alter Rebbe. And I told you that story the other week, which
With the
happened
soup.
with
It's
the
amazing
the
idea.
Emes, how he dealt with this with the soup, and everyone wanted to see how he's going to deal with it. If he's going to follow the Taz, the Alter Rebbe and Shulchan Aruch, or he's going to follow the Siddur. And what he did was he didn't remove it with the liquid. He lifted up the bowl in the air, and he put the spoon underneath the psilis, and he pulled the soup down. So he took the good from the bad.
Who was this?
This is the Ger Rebbe, the Imre Emes, who was nifter in 1948, Tavshin Chai.
the shiloh
So the chap was, they saw that in his soup there was a little piece of particle, something that was there that people don't want to eat, whatever it was. And the person who was a guest by the Suda, I heard it from the nephew, the one who was by the meal. And he said that the Emes, everyone was watching to see what the Rebbe was going to do, how he was going to deal with the situation. They could have easily brought the Rebbe, it was probably another bowl, but this was the Maisa Shahaya. The Rebbe lifted it up in the air, and he stuck the spoon underneath the piece of psilis without moving his hand, moving it out at all, just left it there, and then with the other hand, pulled the soup bowl down. So what he did he did not at all move the psilis. He took the oichel away from the psilis. So he was yoy to the Alter Rebbe Shita in the Siddur. He didn't go with the Taz.
The food.
This with peanut with the shells of nuts. That's negated to this issue or
No.
No.
Muksa issue.
I spoke this halacha to somebody. He said if it's a Frenchie, it's going to be a void of schite. So what are you talking about? He said he'll take the bog and suck it before he throw it out.
Hey.
No, they like wine so much.
The Mitzvah Hashem next week will learn Yali Purim.